How do I avoid Medicaid penalties when using an irrevocable trust? Are you wondering how to navigate the tricky waters of Medicaid penalties while using an irrevocable trust? You're not alone, and it's a question many people face. Let's break it down step by step to help you understand how to protect your assets effectively. First off, an irrevocable trust is a legal tool where you transfer ownership of your assets permanently. Once these assets are in the trust, they are generally not counted towards Medicaid's asset limits. This can be a great way to protect your wealth for your heirs while still qualifying for Medicaid benefits. However, there is a significant rule to keep in mind: the 5-year look-back period. This means that any assets transferred into the irrevocable trust within 5 years before applying for Medicaid will be examined closely. If Medicaid finds any transfers during this period, they will impose a penalty. This penalty is calculated by dividing the total value of the transferred assets by the average monthly cost of nursing home care in your state. For instance, if you transfer $100,000 and the average monthly care cost is $10,000, you could face a 10-month penalty period where Medicaid will not cover your care. So, how can you avoid these penalties? First, it is essential to establish the irrevocable trust at least 5 years before you apply for Medicaid. Transfers made earlier than this 5-year mark will not be subject to penalties. Next, it is wise to work with an experienced elder law attorney. They can help you draft and fund the trust correctly. The trust must comply with both federal and state Medicaid rules, which can vary widely. For example, some states have different rules regarding homes in trusts, which can affect your eligibility and estate recovery. Another important point is to avoid adding assets to the trust after it is initially funded, especially within that 5-year look-back period. Each new transfer can trigger a new penalty period, which can complicate your Medicaid application. It is also beneficial to retain limited control over the assets in the trust, as allowed. While irrevocable trusts mean you lose control over the assets, some arrangements allow you to retain rights to income or limited powers without jeopardizing Medicaid eligibility. However, be cautious. Improper retention of control can lead to assets being counted as available, which may risk disqualification. Lastly, planning for spend-down funds is essential. Since assets in the trust are not accessible, you may need liquid funds outside the trust to cover expenses during any penalty period or waiting time. Understanding state-specific rules is also key. Medicaid Asset Protection Trust rules differ from state to state, including how homes and certain trusts are treated. A trust that works well for Medicaid planning in one state may not be effective in another. By planning early, adhering to the 5-year look-back rule, and seeking proper legal guidance, you can avoid Medicaid penalties when using an irrevocable trust. This way, you can protect your assets and qualify for benefits without facing unnecessary hurdles.